Okay, we're going to talk about measuring and choosing the right size pattern for your figure. So the basic measurements on the pattern envelope are bust, waist, and hip. For most styles, those are the basics. Sometimes, if you're making pants, you're going to have an inseam, and sometimes they have a high hip and a low hip measurement. For this demonstration, we're just going to use the very basics, which are bust, waist, and hip. So to measure the bust line, you're going to put the tape measure around your body. Make sure that it's parallel to the floor and at the widest point of the bust, you're going to get that measurement. Now you don't want to pull on the tape too much. It's not cooperating with me here, but we'll keep it level to the ground. You don't want to stretch the tape or your measurement will be off. So I'm getting a 35-inch measurement on this particular form. So you're going to write that down, and then the waist is right at the navel, or 2 inches below the navel, depends on your preference. 27 inches there, and the hip is usually 5 inches down from the waist. So I don't have a hip tape on here, but I can kind of eyeball it 5 inches down. That's where the hip measurement is on this form. This is a 38. So after you've recorded your measurements, you're going to compare them to the measurements on the pattern and then decide what size you're going to make. For most purposes, it works better to use the high bust measurement, which is not on the pattern. However, if you're between sizes, this can really help you determine the right size for you to make. It's easy to decide what size pattern you need if your measurements are consistent with the pattern measurements, but most of us don't have that luxury. So the high bust, which would be above the bust line, still underneath the arms, on this form is 35. And that will give you more of an accurate measurement. So I'm going to look across the chart where the 35 measurement is between a medium and a large. So in this case, I would say go up to the size large, because most of us need a little bit more in the waist and the hips depending on your particular situation. For the jacket, it's better to have a little more room in the shoulders, and that's why I decided to do that. But if you're making pants or another type of garment, you may have to make some adjustments. Those are the very basics of measuring your body. Now, a couple things to consider. Some of us are shorter in the torso or longer in the legs. Depends on how you're proportioned, especially if you are a petite customer. This will be an important measurement to consider. Some packages, pattern packages, have a measurement from back neck to back waist, and that can be a contributing factor. This will help you know how much you need to lengthen or shorten the pattern to fit your particular figure. So even if it's not listed on the envelope, I highly recommend that you do that. I will add a chart for you to download so that you can plug in your basic body measurements, and that way you have them and you always know what they are when you go to do your sewing. Okay, see you in the next lesson.